Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Preston from Up in the Air. Just wanted to give you a quick reminder that if you do enjoy any of the content you see on this channel, give us a quick subscribe. Anyways, let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Preston.
This is Hunter.
This is Ethan.
And this is Season 2, Episode 9 of Up in the Air. We're bringing you laughs, gaffs, fully mowed log trail. We're mowing the disc.
Yeah.
We're mowing the disc today. Put that on a shirt.
Burp. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So we're going to be running a fat hour of Joker spoiler review talk. Okay, guys? Are we cool with that?
Confirmed.
So really what I would like to do first, because we're going to get into like all the reviews that people have put out. We're going to get into the controversy at the back end of this podcast. First and foremost, though, let's just go around the table, possibly starting with Ethan here. And no, well, let's start with me.
We
can
can
start
start
with me.
with you.
We'll start with me.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm great.
All right, let's start it up.
Someone rip
What-
ass?
what did-
Or what am I smelling in the air?
We'll do a, I don't know.
I thought I got a slight hint of ass rip. Maybe
How's
not.
it now?
Maybe it was your sody.
It could have been the sody.
Yeah, it was sody.
Okay, identified sody.
Some ass.
Really what I'm asking of y'all is 1 to 10, how was it in that range? And then what was like one of the standout moments for you?
Okay.
I want to rate this like a solid 8.5 to a 9. Like, oh my gosh, this movie was fantastic. Favorite part of the film would be the train scene. I think that's
okay.
where I think that's where everything, like, that's the pinnacle of that movie right there.
The pinnacle. The pinnacle.
My turn?
It's your turn.
Okay.
The pinnacle.
I would go very similar on the rating, I think. I would. So here's the thing. I'm pretty easy to please with movies. I generally like a lot of movies. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but usually I'm not super picky on a movie.
That's bad.
Is it bad, you think?
Yeah, I've just deemed it bad.
Oh, okay.
You need to leave.
So that's a bad thing. See you maybe next week, guys.
Yep. No, you won't.
maybe.
You won't.
No.
But
sorry.
yeah, I would say like a 8.5 or a 9, somewhere in that range. I thought it was very good.
Wow.
What?
I don't know.
Are you thrown off by my shades? that
Yeah, I can't
popped
like
on?
I can't see to the soul, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking at that handicap sign right now.
Are you? Now you are.
But I think I'm trying to think of my favorite scene. Honestly, as far as like
Don't take mine.
maybe comedic ways go,
Oh.
I would say it was in the apartment when he killed his clown buddy. And
That was crazy.
The LP was trying to get out, and he was like, "Hey, can you get the door for me?"
Oh my god, that scene!
They had to
the
throw that
whole-
in.
The entire fucking audience in the theater was dying laughing.
We're
Like, that
laughing
scene was so
and-
fucked up. That
It-
whole
dude,
entire
it's-
scene
it
was
was-
so fucked up. But
yeah.
they somehow found a way to get a fucking just. That's like the thing they did with a lot of the things in this movie. Like a lot of the important, impactful moments. They found a way to like turn you to get you to laugh at him,
Yeah.
and it's so weird. It
With
kind of
him.
Getting-
with him exactly. It kind of puts you
Do you
in this
think
mindset.
Going into like a little bit of character analysis, I think in his mind he definitely planned that. He's like, this other guy's not gonna be able to reach
100%.
that. He's not, so
Here's-
I'm gonna do it.
The big one. Okay, so first I give it a 9.5.
Wait, that was actually my favorite.
Oh,
scene.
it wasn't. Oh,
That
sorry.
was my comedic scene.
What's your favorite? Don't do it. Don't do
Well,
it.
I'm gonna toss out 2,
Okay.
so I won't completely take yours.
If-
Hopefully,
if I-
assuming okay.
Yeah.
2 favorite scenes for me
How dare you?
was
get two?
right after he put on his face paint and him like kind of gearing up to go to the show and all that, him dancing down the stairs. I loved that.
Oh, that
I
was
thought that was
awesome.
really
Oh, yeah.
good. My other one had to have been the talk show.
Oh
just
my
because
God, yeah.
just because of the line he delivered right before he shot him, I thought was perfect.
What was the line again?
It was so he was like,
get
let me
what
let me tell you another joke, and he's like, what do you get when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that has abandoned him and treats him like trash? You get what you fucking deserve.
Pop.
And then
Yep,
shoots
and then
him.
he pops him.
Bye bye, Murray.
And then he fucking sits down,
Yep, he
lets
just-
all the chaos go around him. Then
He's
he
got
stands
this whole
back
thing
up,
going on.
does a little double tap on his ass, and then fucking
Yeah.
walks right up to that camera.
That part in the
He's just
movie,
out.
that was probably the one part in the maybe not the one part, but the one I remember the most where I got goosebumps. I was like, oh fuck, like just that
He's
line
crazy.
and just the way he delivered it. Just Joaquin is fucking great. He just you believed him 100% throughout the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
movie. He was
absolutely.
the Joker.
Like there wasn't a single moment where I was watching the movie and I felt like it took me out. Like there's certain things that like movies will do or like actors will do that kind of takes you out of the movie, and you're like, oh yeah, like this character or this actor
Not
always
this
does
guy.
this one
I
thing.
think he
Joaquin
just
Phoenix,
he reads
man,
it very well.
he sets his whole like persona as himself aside and just completely envelops himself into his character, and
Well,
it's
yeah.
so fucking obvious.
And we
in
were
this
watching
movie.
this video before you came in, and the guy was saying that like Joaquin is not necessarily a method actor, but he's just good at what he does.
Oh yeah,
Because they
This little
said
flick right here,
that
the
he
Joker director.
he said during the whole filming of the movie, they'd be off set laughing and joking, having a good time, then he'd hop in and he's immediately in it, like he's the Joker now.
yeah.
And another thing that was really cool that I just love when people point out certain things that weren't planned in the movie, but the actor did, and it
Yeah.
just added this extra bling to it.
Uh-huh.
Is in the opening when he's in the little I don't know what you want to call it, when he's like at work at the very beginning, looking in
Yeah.
the mirror, putting on his face paint, and he's like making himself smile.
Yeah.
And that one scene where he's got a tear running down his eye, that was not planned at all.
Oh,
he just
really?
did that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was so fucking awesome.
I
When
know.
he like fucking he like
And you can see me
pulled
like,
it
he's
down
like starts
and then
shaking
the
a little
fucking-
bit.
and then the fucking tear comes down when
Yeah.
he fucking
that
my
was
God.
not planned. That was all Joaquin.
Very good. Very good acting.
On to you, sir.
I was gonna say, as we scope into my rating, I give it a 9.5. Purely, I give it everything, all the reasons you just said, plus the soundtrack.
Soundtrack was phenomenal.
Soundtrack bumps it. I mean, it is a masterpiece of a film, in my opinion, of a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
I wouldn't even classify it as a horror.
like
it's more
I
of
mean
a thriller.
like strictest saying like it's just like it's a thriller, but like thriller and horror are like synonymous.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
for
it's
sure.
So whether one fuck it, go ahead.
It's a comedy tragedy, dude.
It is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just as he says in the movie. His life is
Um,
a comedy tragedy. More of a tragedy. No, a comedy.
Favorite scene is when he's sitting in that girl's apartment. Sophia, I believe, is her name in the movie.
Oh my
and
god.
and
yeah.
then it all becomes revealed to the audience that all their hanging outs have not been real, and they've been a figment of his like imagination because he's been off of his pills at that point. Because if you go back and remember, you've got the therapy session with the therapist, and then right after that, he's like in the hospital with his mother,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, right from that point on, everything is not real.
Well,
And-
and he makes note of when like he says specifically when the dude and the LP comes in.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I haven't been taking my pills,
Yes.
and then he fucking just.
Am I remembering it differently, or did he also say it to the guy who was like the records dude in the hospital, the asylum? Did he mention it there that he was not taking his medication? Or am I
He-
thinking
I think he
that
did,
wrong?
yeah.
He didn't say anything about his medication, but he said that, man, I didn't do something, or I did something I haven't been too proud of,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of broke the rules.
Kinda
Sorry.
broke the rules
And then
here.
he fucking
He's
and
like-
he breaks the rules even more.
He's like, it should bother me, but it doesn't.
Mhm.
You just stand there, and the dude's like, okay,
Right? Like,
Yeah, and like I had said the night when we went and saw it,
Mhm.
I was extremely tired when we went in there and started watching it. So, like the first half of the movie, I was really struggling to stay awake. Not because the movie was boring. Let's clear that right up right now.
Tired
I
boy.
loved the movie. I was just
tired
tired.
boy, yeah,
Um,
understandable.
the whole part where he's actually on the show the first time with Murray, that was all fake, right? That was in his head. He was thinking of that.
In his head, on his fucking mother's bed.
Yeah, because at that point, when Murray calls him up, he's like, "Hey, I loved everything you just said. I wish you were my
Yeah,
son."
and
Stuff
then it,
like that.
boom, goes right
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
to the
okay.
bed. Oh, it's fucking chilling, dude.
I just wanted to make sure that was.
Yeah.
But I picked up on that.
And it's like the movie expected you to ask a question. It was like, hey, because it's like the contrast. It's like every scene in this movie has like a start and an end, and you can tell exactly where. Like every scene is like chipping away slowly at like his brain, because it's especially with like every scene either ends on up or a down.
Yeah.
So it's like gonna start how the intro of this movie starts is like him putting on the makeup, and it's like an up, and then it's like, whoa, he just did some weird shit, and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm at work. It's an up, and then it's like, whoa, he just got the shit kicked out of him,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, oh, he's laying with his mother, and it's like, whoa, he just had an hallucination. It's like a whoa, wait, whoa,
Yeah.
like the entire
Yeah.
movie, and it's fucking.
Oh,
I live for it. I love that.
Yeah,
movie.
that's the way. Okay, so when I got out of the movie, I came home and I talked to my brother about it, and that's the way I explained it to him. I was like, the whole movie is like just these sequence of events that show you like his progression deeper and deeper into his own madness.
I wanted to also bring something up right here. Did you see that even while he was beat down, the director showed this, that he reaches down and squirts water out of his flower because he's still got some funny left in him, the director says.
I missed that.
Yeah,
I know,
me
well,
too.
so did
I missed-
we. Yeah.
And that was like another thing. I was like,
I felt
when
so
you go
bad
in,
when you missed
fucking
that
go
big
in,
part, though.
When you fucking go into this movie, you have to pay attention to like every little fucking detail.
Yeah.
Everything in this film, to the fucking background, is important.
Yeah.
Like environment, the scenery, like every fucking thing in the room. Like there was a scene in when he was on the Murray show, when he was in the dressing room. Did you guys notice that before the dude came in to check on him?
Yeah.
And then how the mirror was clean.
It had the
and then,
writing on it.
Yeah.
And then after he left, the writing was
I don't
on
remember.
the fucking
I don't
mirror.
remember what it said, but
I don't remember what it said
I did see
either.
the writing.
But it was in here. It was up in his
Yeah,
head. Yeah, it was
exactly.
fucked up shit like
but
that.
another line that he gave that just kind of, I thought, I guess just because the huge downfall is like right after, I would say, well, when he figures out that like he's adopted and his mom has been lying to him and all that, and that was kind of like the final straw to all this.
Yeah.
And when he was visiting her in the hospital right before he killed her, and he just said to her, he was like, "I've never had a happy day in my fucking life."
Yeah.
And then that's kind of when he got up and he's like, he's like, this whole time I thought my life was a comedy, but I thought it was a tragedy, but it's a comedy. And he just fucking suffocates her.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to do it. He did do it, which was like, But I wanted to fucking ask you, what happened in the movie to where you didn't get like the biggest drop of the movie?
Dude, so I had the initial thoughts. So how the scene transpires,
It
was
was
when he
very
fucking
abstract.
when he sits down on the couch and like she comes out. I had the initial thought. I was like, wait, she doesn't recognize him. Like, what's going on?
Right.
And then I was like, I kind of figured it, but it wasn't like directly said, so I didn't want to instantly assume that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was just.
But yeah, you
ooh.
really got to pay attention to the details.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good second.
Dude,
viewing.
the whole another thing that I want to bring up is just how
Thanks for the Frank Sinatra soundtrack, by the way.
fucking
Oh my God, I
phenomenal.
loved it.
How fucking
I was singing along in there,
phenomenal.
dude.
What did you guys think about the way that they brought in the Wayne family?
Oh, that was nice.
Just the way that they handled it. Like even when you know that the fucking Batman's not real yet, I
Yeah.
love how they somehow made it to where the Wayne family was still like an integral fucking part. Like they were always there lurking in the background.
That was the other thing, is that I liked how when that guy came up to them when they left the theater and shot them, he
Yeah.
said the same thing the Joker did. He just said to him, "Hey, Wayne, you get what you fucking deserve," and he shot him.
Yep.
I was like, damn.
The movie had you leading through so many trails because it was like, oh shit, what if the Joker is related to
Oh my
Bruce,
god.
that
and
was-
that
oh, dude.
fucking
that
blew my
and
mind.
it got so fucking close to it being true, and I was gonna be like, oh fuck, oh
Can
fuck.
you fucking imagine?
I would have shit my pants. Well, first of all, this is like kind of a big deal. Like this whole
This has
movie
never been done before.
Yeah, this is like there's been so many iterations. Like I watched a couple days ago, just for this podcast, hope you guys like it. I watched Batman: The Killing Joke, which is a rated R animated film that DC did and they go over the origins of the Joker, and it's the old gets dumped in a vat and the whole like Red Hood thing. Y'all ever heard of the Red Hood thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets like hired. It's like he's a comedy. So he's a stand-up. But he's not like oppressively manic. Like he just sort of is like an introvert type person. And then he gets hired by the mob, and they give him a red hood to go commit the crime. And they do this for a lot of people. It's like whoever gets hired to do the job gets the red hood to conceal their identity during the job. Well, he went on the job and then got dunked in the vat of acid. How it always happens. How it happened in the fucking Tim Burton Batman movies. Jack Nicholson got fucking dunked in the vat and then got turned manic. Never before has it been done. If there's a Joker that hasn't been dunked in a vat of acid, his origin has never been explained. This is the very first time we get like a full psychotic version of the
Yeah.
Joker.
Oh my god! And the way they fucking explained his laugh. Holy shit!
Oh,
that makes
pseudo-
it so much fucking crazier. That makes it so much fucking crazier.
I know, because when
I was
first,
just talking about that the other day. It's called pseudo bulbar effect.
yeah, because I saw that when he was in the bus and He was playing with the kid, and then
Yeah.
he handed her the card, and I read it, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
I was like, "I never
Just
really
a nice little
it's
fucking
thought of
detail.
that."
It's so crazy.
It's literally this right here. Pseudo-bulbar effect or emotional incontinence
Yeah, incontinence.
is a type of emotional disturbance characterized by uncontrollable episodes of crying and or laughter or other emotional displays occur secondary to a neurological disorder or brain injury. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because what did the card say? It was like, I'm laughing right now, but it does not reflect my emotions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something. I'm sorry.
I have a psychological
Yeah.
disorder.
that comes from like neurological. Yeah, it had literally the
It
definition
said
of
either
it.
psychological or neurological disorder, and it was like that's why I'm laughing right now.
Now, is that something you're born with, or can you form it? Can
No
It
idea.
says that it comes typically after a neurological disorder. So, I mean, if you're born with one, that, or you can have like sustain a brain injury and then get it.
I wonder if
Oh,
that comes from
damn.
his abuse as a child.
That's
Oh,
what I was
shit,
thinking during
yeah.
the movie. Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So many layers, so many fucking
I want to
layers.
watch it again.
Oh my gosh,
I really want to
yeah.
go see it again.
And like just the whole character, like so many characters get developed in this movie. You've got the Joker himself, you've got the Wayne family, you've got Joker's mother, you've got all like the fucking clown guys that he's working with that you get to fucking see develop. It's such a good fucking movie. Like they do not waste a single second.
No, not a. Oh, dude, I want to see it again.
Now, if there was just something I didn't pick up on, well, I don't think there was, but was there a reason why his coworker gave? I mean, because he gave him the gun, said you need to protect yourself, but obviously that later was a part of like his plan to get him fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was there a reason for it? Did they ever kind of show that?
The
or
reason
was it just
was
kind of
the reason was because he got beat up, and then the
Yeah.
guy was like, "Hey, you should have some protection."
Well, yeah,
Like,
I
'cause
know,
he's Russian,
but the guy eventually like ratted him out, which got him fired for having
Yeah,
a
I
Well,
don't
gun.
know.
I
They don't
think-
actually explain that.
I think the reason, I mean, like you could look into it, and maybe be like, okay, one of the clowns was like, "Hey, go steal this fucking guy's sign. He's a weirdo," sort of thing, or it just happened, and that dude was just being. He was like trying to be his friend, but he was being wholly malicious, and that was the plan from the beginning.
Yeah,
So, and maybe that was just the whole reason, because at the beginning of the movie, on that little video we watched, it shows how all 5 of them guys are talking, and
But he's not,
But
like-
he's not talking, so maybe they're talking about him or something. The fuck was I gonna say? Oh, the director was doing some other interview, and at the very end, like it's like kind of past the credits, and he's like in the mental institution, and he's like, "I'm thinking of a joke," he's laughing, and then he tells the
Oh,
lady,
yeah.
"You won't get it." The director is like, "Yeah, he's thinking about how he got the Waynes killed," and he's like, "You wouldn't get it. It's just too funny of a fucking joke. You wouldn't get it."
yeah. I was like, because after that part
I love the
of
pearls
him in the scene,
Oh,
in
dude,
that
and
very
they handled
last scene,
it so well. They
Yeah.
handled because it's been done so many times. It's beaten down the exact same way that Spider-Man's origin story's been beaten down. It's just been done so many fucking times. So just to see like this fresh take on it, like it's not just some random guy doing a random act anymore. Now it's a protester who's trying to like express how he feels. And it might not be the best way. Killing people is definitely not the fucking best way to express your emotions, but that's what fucking happens in the movie. And it's
Martha's like, "Ooh, why are you doing this?" He's like, "You get what you fucking deserve." Like
Exactly.
right from the quote from the TV. Like the dude watched that shit, was like, "Oh fuck, brr, yeah, bop, bop, bop," like.
yeah.
yeah.
But
What were you going on?
at the end when he's got his little interview going on while
Uh-huh.
he's in the hospital or the asylum, with his social
Good scene.
worker,
Uh-huh.
and after he walks out of the hallway and he gets like to his little dancing thing in the hallway, and at first I was kind of watching, and then like I noticed like, oh, there's blood trailing off of his shoes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
He
I was like,
murdered
oh, that
her.
motherfucker murdered
Dude,
her.
I love the fact that they added in him dancing in this movie. I think it's so fucking perfect. Just
Did
to
you guys
show
see? Yeah,
how
we were talking about
unhinged
it
he
earlier.
is.
Fucking the Jimmy Kimmel interview where Joaquin is like, "Yeah, I'm a great fucking dancer."
Let's
Yeah,
talk-
they-
let's go ahead.
They were, because I watched that yesterday, and in their interview, he was talking about how he danced like when he was younger and all that. And
Yep.
Jimmy Kimmel, he was like, "Were you known as a great dancer?" And he was like, "Well,
Well,
not nationally, but
What's your preferred type of dancing?
yeah, break dancing."
Breakdancing. Oh, you want to know who else breakdances? Fucking Ryan Gosling and a bunch of
Oh,
other
yeah.
guys.
But yeah,
And they
like-
all rap too. They
like-
all
Yeah,
just
right,
love
yeah,
rapping
what
and
the fuck?
breakdancing.
Like I told you earlier, that one part of the interview where he's talking about his dancing as a kid, and Kimmel's going off saying shit, and he's like, "Well, you're making fun of it, but it was serious to me."
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my god, like you can still see, like, fuck, I don't know. Another
You
thing
can
I
just
wanted
tell he doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks. He's gonna do him because obviously it's fucking working.
it's
I wanted
Joaquin
to talk
Phoenix.
about
Why would
the
he
fucking-
change?
You may say there's a case for it made to be fake. I don't think so. The fucking outtake that he threw on Joaquin Phoenix is a big fuck you to Jimmy Kimmel. I tried finding articles supporting that it's fake.
That's so fucking dumb if it's not fake.
Everything that's saying that it's fake is like all like, well, blah blah blah. Why would he ever? But it's like Jimmy Kimmel here we're talking about.
But you got to
He's
think
not the most
like,
notoriety, like the best
Jimmy-
notoriety of the late night hosts.
Jimmy Kimmel doesn't get to choose what he like shows though. Like that's not up to him.
It
Like,
was the
it's
dude-
the people who give Jimmy Kimmel's people stuff. So whoever fucking gave him that stuff
Well,
was
it's his
from
show.
the Jokers. I know it's his show, but
If he had a
they can't
card that
just
said the
be
N word
like-
on it and then he read it, it would be Jimmy's fault, would it
Yeah,
not?
but Jimmy, it's not like he's watching all these things before. He's watching it. He's trying to get his initial reaction the same time Joaquin was getting his initial reaction.
If that is the case and he didn't watch what like could be considered a rather like, oh god, I would not want someone to see that because like he kind of was not he was not he's not in his he's not being Joaquin Phoenix in that moment.
Yeah.
He's being Arthur. And so like seeing that and then everyone's going to be like, "Oh, well, he's just acting, so he's probably really an asshole or something like that." It's like too much to do just to someone like the day after their movie release. Like just fucking hold that off for a little bit,
Yeah.
And then if he wasn't, did I say if he wasn't already watched, like if he didn't watch it and someone knew that that's what that was as a big like, because he would have had to clear. I feel like he would have had to clear that
Oh yeah.
and been like, "Oh, let's put that on."
Well, I mean, he did say that he got that outtake reel from the director.
Todd. It was from the dude he was yelling at.
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes like a dude, sends. It's like, you're gonna be on Jimmy Kimmel and play
Maybe he
this.
thought it was gonna be a joke, and like he's laughing about it. But you
Right.
fucking look at society today, and Joaquin probably freaked out and was like, "Oh, like fuck me." Like he probably understood. Joaquin was probably like, "Oh, the guy probably sent it because he thought it'd be funny, but this looks fucking horrible on me, and now all these people are gonna think I'm some type of fucking asshole."
It was the
and now
thing
they
though. He
do.
literally had no idea what was gonna happen.
I know.
Yeah.
His
That's-
reaction.
that's why,
he
like,
looked-
another
he
reason-
genuinely looked upset too.
Well,
He was like
'cause
so
he's sitting there.
embarrassed.
He knows. There was two things he said. He was like, well, he was kind of talking. He was like kind of whispering all day, and he was like, he shouldn't have done it. I am sorry, but he shouldn't have done it. But he was more sorry about like I'm sure how he handled the problem rather than him actually being a dick to the person. That's
Yeah.
probably the same way
Well,
I would be. But
I think he handled the explanation well. He was like,
Yeah.
when you get these people,
and he was like, could we move off of it? Because
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel was still like, oh, we're at the end of the show here. Oh, we just put that. He's like, come on, let's
because he was saying, he was like, you get people on a movie set and eventually they're
Right.
going to have an argument or something. It's whatever. It happens. People are in the zone. Actors are trying to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
And
It shows how in the zone he was because he's sitting there like, I'm trying to fucking find something.
yeah.
I'm trying to fucking find something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, God damn. Wow.
Yeah.
What are you finding?
And that's another thing. Like, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen to
At least
Joaquin
he didn't
in
die
the
right
next-
afterwards.
Dude,
you
I
know what I
know,
mean?
right,
That's what
right.
I was worried
So
about.
I'm legit. I'm just waiting to see what happens to him in the next 5 years.
I did
Yeah.
think it was funny because I think he had a Jimmy Fallon interview, or I think maybe it was just Jimmy Kimmel where he got up and he put his feet on the seat, like he was all like playful right there.
Yeah, he
And-
got up like this.
I saw the same thing from Rami Malek, who did Queen. Freddie Mercury. He played Freddie Mercury, and afterwards he was still like had some mannerisms of like Freddie, just like sort of talking like what like.
I always love it because I go back sometimes and I watch interviews of James Franco after he played Tommy Wiseau in The Disaster Artist. And you could pick up in certain points of the interview, he would still kind of put a bit of an accent on something when he would say shit.
Yeah.
How much time?
Like, I don't think intentionally, it's just
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
been doing it for quite a while now, so it just kind of naturally flowed out, and
Yeah.
that's how it would sound.
How much time do you think there is between like the very last performance they have to give on camera to them doing an interview like a day after the movie?
I feel like it's not that much time.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like they get to it pretty
Like
quick.
a good 3 months,
So
3 or 4 months maybe. Well,
About
yeah,
that. About that.
because they have the
probably.
trailer worked up way before the movie's even completed.
Yeah.
So, man, yeah, no kidding. Just 3 months later, and you're still like, you did
Got
this
those
role
little-
for a
got those
year,
little
you know.
remnants of your character still
Yeah.
kind of coming out.
Pretty much all the editing starts at the same time. You just outsource to different groups for
Right.
different things. So you've got like one multimedia group working on all of your trailers and posters and all sorts of things. Then you've got the other multimedia group, which is the one actually like doing the director's cut of the movie
Right.
and all that other stuff. And then you've got
Another big thing. Oh, so go. Keep going. Keep going.
oh, dude, that's just it takes a lot of work. Like people really truly do not understand how much work really goes into a fucking movie. Like you're gonna
Literally,
see,
international marketing. Fucking.
in one movie, you'll probably like that movie will probably be worked on by over like 1,000 different people for just one movie. Like that's producers,
A lot of companies
Oh my
too.
God,
Just companies
yeah,
worth
just-
of people.
and they'll never ever get the whole thing to themselves. It'll always just be little snippets.
Something else I wanted to, as I readjust my chair noisily here on the podcast, something else I wanted to bring up was just how fucking amazing. I don't know if it was practical or how the fuck they did it, but we were literally rewatching the scene of Murray getting shot in the head. Holy fuck. The movie nails it with like, just, it looks like people are getting fucking killed in this movie.
Oh yeah, the fucking
That's-
blood. The
yeah.
blood in that movie is so
Well, yeah,
realistic.
Think about the scene in his apartment when he fucking stabs the dude in the neck and then just slams his head against the wall.
Well,
and
the
all that
one
shit
that
and-
fucking the one that did it for me
It co-
was the fucking train scene. Just like that's the or that's
Oh, and the
initially
noises, the pops.
initially that's like the first time you're seeing.
Please silence
blood.
all cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time you're seeing that much blood in the movie, and it's like
All
oh
at
my
once. It's
fucking
all at
God,
once.
too,
Uh-huh.
because he just goes fucking ham.
I like
And
how they
oh my
justify
God,
it.
man.
They almost, like,
They try to make him look like the good guy.
every single turn up until the very until he kills his fucking mom, and then like you realize that everything is fake in his head.
Yeah.
It's like the last 30 minutes of the movie, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Up until that, you're like, oh fuck. Yeah.
mean, hey,
of
I-
course you do that.
I don't.
Yep.
I don't
Be like,
know. I don't. I don't know the self-defense laws in Gotham, but up until he shot that third dude in the back, he was in the clear.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you could tell through like the very it was like the first one was like, oh shit, and then the second one it was like, I'm gonna like I killed him because he was still trying to attack me, but then it was like,
Then he fucking chases the third.
and
guy.
then it's well because he then even had a moment where he was like, huh, pop, another one, and then he already got that third guy in the leg, and then he's like,
oh, he
oh.
takes his fucking sweet time.
he's like,
with this
oh
one, though. That's the
shit, this is
difference. Chased
fucking
him.
hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Bop, bop, bop.
Oh yeah.
Just unleash it, boom, boom,
That's-
boom, click,
yeah, that's
click,
why
click.
that's why I thought that was the most pinnacle moment of the movie because that's literally like that's like a fucking 2 to 3 minute span in the movie, but you literally see him go through every fucking stage in those 3 minutes. He gets on the train. He has that manic episode where he can't stop laughing because some fucked up shit's going on around him, and his fucking brain is just going haywire. And then he's getting his ass beaten.
Dude.
It's all getting even worse. And then he's like, and then you think like, oh, it's just self-defense. And then he just like, it's that last kill, man, where he fucking takes his time. He's like playing with him, like, oh, which way you going? You gonna go in the train? You getting off the train? Oh, you're getting off the train, huh? You think you're gonna get away from me?
Yeah.
No, you're not gonna get away from me.
I kind of feel like that, like in that moment, almost, it's like in his mind, this is like possibly one of the first times in his life where he's like, I have control over this situation.
Oh, he has complete power.
yeah, and he liked it
Oh, he fucking loved every second.
because he
of
never
it.
has before.
There was something that has made the best Jokers that have been on cinema the best joke. Like I was gonna pull something up, but it's mute. I'll just explain it.
Okay.
The best thing that has made it might like there's two things. Obviously, is being able to like act like the Joker, but the other thing is just the pure fucking walk. Like the walk of the Joker. You remember how like Heath Ledger used to walk, where he's like scuttling around? Dude?
Yeah,
He,
he's
was,
just
he
like
had that. He was fucking.
He had-
He had a hunch to it,
had a
but it
little bit
wasn't
of
like
the-
a major hunch. It was just a slight one to kind of make him seem a little bit more menacing. You know.
literally, and then you've got like the way it literally looks because you can see it. I think you were wanting that, correct? Yeah. You could see it because he's like in those fucking clown shoes all day, and it literally looks when he's like just the Joker. He's got normal fucking shoes on, but he's still walking like a fucking clown, you know. And it's like,
Yeah.
woohoo, woohoo, let's pop that motherfucker in the head, and it's just so like bouncy and like it's so childlike and fucking like he's having fun doing it. But then it's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
he's fucking killed Murray.
And I don't.
I think that's best represented on the very last scene when he's standing on the car and he
Yeah,
starts
he
dancing.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Because like that's
The director said they wanted the Arthur to feel like he's got music in his soul throughout the entire movie. Like he just got music in his head. It might be from the fucking, I don't know. Did they ever show him as a kid?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Good. No time jumps for exposition. I dislike that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the details. It's all of the details of this movie.
Oh yeah, this is what I'm gonna say. Because I think when it was Heath, so I've never like followed the DC comic books or anything, so I don't know anything about like the Joker's backstory and all that. I'm pretty sure in Heath Ledger's version of the Joker, they do give a slight explanation as to how he got his scars on his face, but they don't in this one. What was the thing? Was it a throwback to when he was a kid and his?
There's a funny thing that happens in The Dark Knight when Joker explains his backstory. It may be 2 or 3, but he explains it differently 3 times in the movie.
In one movie, he explains it 3 different times.
Which gives... Okay, so the one thing is that his mother came home and then was fighting his father with the knife or whatever because his dad came home in a drunken stirp, blah, 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 blah. And then they fucking... Why so serious? Yeah, why so serious? Anyway, and you fucking get into it, and then the dad's like, let's put a smile on that face, and then... But I don't know what the other... that's like the most drawn-out explanation. The other 2 are like way more nuanced. He sort of mentions them passing by.
Yeah, but you know why they did that in that movie, right?
Because he fucking... he's a vet, ain't he? Isn't it?
No.
What the fuck?
You never, ever...
There was a theory that he was a veteran.
I've seen that before.
In the Christopher Nolan trilogy
Yes.
of the Batman, they specifically only have the Joker in one movie.
Yes.
And
The Dark Knight Rises, right?
Dark Knight.
Or is it just Dark
Bane.
Knight? Oh yeah, Dark Knight Rises.
And Catwoman, I think,
Bane.
right?
Yeah, but the reason, so they purposely, like, they want him to be some odd symbol where you don't know anything except for what you want him, or what he wants you to know about his character.
You're literally
that's the
you're
thing
filled
about
in as he's filled in.
That's the thing about Heath Ledger's performance in that movie is he never gave a single detail about who the Joker was unless he wanted you to know. So it was always little details to build himself in a certain way to certain people.
We were constantly... You see Batman in the film constantly trying to get to what... Because Joker's always been the anti-villain without a motivation. Like we've talked about it before. Like, shootings caused no fucking motivation. There's just like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Just doing it. Same thing with the Joker. Just a crazy person doing shit. And throughout the film, you want Batman. You're like, okay, why is he doing it? What is he doing? He's just trying to piss me off. Finally, he realized, whatever. And then that whole time... we as the audience are getting about as fucking much information in being like, oh, well, what the fuck is he? Like, what is he actually trying to do? He's fucking hilarious. We know that.
Something I wanted to bring
You
up.
can almost sympathize with the Jokers.
Yeah.
Almost. You know?
Especially in this one.
Yeah.
Especially in this one.
Something I wanted to bring up, which is about the audience of these movies, is that, now, don't get me wrong, Heath Ledger was an amazing Joker. Right? Like, his performance was fucking phenomenal as the Joker.
Yeah.
But
I need to do a rewatch.
I do hate how, because he has done so well, everybody that watches any movie now with the Joker immediately says, well, he'll never be as good as Heath Ledger, or he's not as good as Heath Ledger. Like, I get you can have that position.
This one's as good, but different.
Yeah. I mean, every actor...
It's on a whole different level.
Yeah. Every actor has portrayed the Joker well, besides Jared Leto.
I would have killed myself to see a Heath Ledger this movie. I would have ripped someone apart to pieces.
It would have been so much darker.
Who even cares what it would have been like? But just to have him do it as his iteration of the Joker, it would have. I mean, just like if we saw the family life, and it actually be like an abusive childhood, and him get all fucked up in the face, and then go like to school and get made fucking fun of, and then bop bop bop, put it all together. I'm sorry I cut you off, but I just thought about that, and it was... I'm having an orgasm, honestly.
No, yeah. If Heath Ledger could have continued being the Joker, that would have been phenomenal. For sure.
We wouldn't have gotten goddamn... Is it Tom Hardy who plays Bane?
Yeah.
Who plays...
Tom Hardy plays Bane.
God, I didn't like that movie.
I haven't watched that. I haven't watched...
It's got a
any of those
fucking
Batman
bat
movies
plane
for a
in it.
while.
It's a fucking CGI bat plane.
But... basically what I was getting at is that I feel like there are a lot of people writing off Joaquin as the Joker just because Heath Ledger has done it and put on an amazing performance.
He died for it. That's why people like it so much.
I mean...
unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's his legacy.
Yeah.
Like, that's what
the
he
last
and like I
film
said,
he did.
His last fucking film he did just happened to be one of the most phenomenal
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not trying
Thank
to take,
God,
I'm not
too,
trying to
you
take
know?
shit away from him.
Of
Like,
course.
he did amazing.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
he did so good on that role.
But it's like in his own right, like, and that's the thing. Like,
God,
you have to
this
understand
chair.
that Joaquin Phoenix is really fucking good in his own right.
Mhm.
And that's like, yeah, like I think you're 100% right. I think people really need to give it the chance that it deserves, because it totally deserves it. Like, you should go into this movie not with like any predetermined notions at all. Like, walk into this movie thinking that it's just gonna be a thriller, not even a DC film, not nothing to do with Batman. Just go into it with a whole new idea that this is
it's
something
like
new.
let Heath Ledger have that title as like the best Joker, because I mean he fucking earned it. He did amazing.
Yes,
But at the same time, don't then shit on Joaquin because he's not Heath Ledger. You know?
exactly.
Literally impossible. So why you bitching about something that can't even be possible, people?
Oh man,
The fucking man. Well, we hit the 30-minute mark, by the way. So
Yeah,
do
a
we
while
wanna,
ago. So
Do we want to shift to what other
go to
people
some
have been saying?
controversy.
Okay,
yeah, let's see what
so
other people are saying.
we'll hit your CNBC article first here about.
Okay.
So you can take reign of the mouse, good sir.
Oh
Good
wow!
sir.
And
Look at that.
scroll.
I've never had the mouse before.
We
Ooh, really?
So before we really hit this, there's like we saw The Cop at the movie theater, correct?
Yes.
I wasn't actually aware of all the pre-movie hysteria that was going on in the media.
Yeah, there was a cop at every theater that was showing it on the opening weekend.
So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and we'll explain this real quick. So obviously, I figure at most theaters there was probably some sort of police presence there. And then I know AMC was doing the whole thing with like, if you are alone, you cannot be admitted to the movie.
Yep.
And
That's
then
so weird.
I know.
Alone.
yeah, and then at ours there was the whole thing. I don't know if this was across many theaters or whatever, but at ours at least there was that sign that said no costumes. You couldn't wear
Yeah.
costumes in there.
Imagine if they had to do that shit at like an Avengers movie. I went and saw Avengers I think it was Endgame, or it was Endgame before Infinity War, correct? Yeah, Endgame. I went and saw.
Infinity War first, then Endgame.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy fuck!
Endgame,
I'm
the
a
end.
terrible Marvel fan now. But yeah, whichever one was first, I went and saw it in like Peoria or something.
Yep.
And there were people dressing up and having a good time. What the fuck, man? You know,
I mean, hey,
we're in Pekin.
you can't. I mean, you can stop somebody from snapping their fingers and wiping out half the universe, but you can't stop somebody from shooting up a theater.
Hear them sirens? They're probably going to Joker right
Dude,
now.
probably.
Fucking yeah.
Wow.
I'm kind of glad though, but the rule that they're making is so stupid. Like, just think about it for a second. One, you can't go by yourself. You really want them to group up together. You really want 2 or 3 people with guns
I
in
like
one
how
theater.
I like how they think they figured out who's gonna shoot up. Like, oh, anyone who's gonna shoot up something is clearly gonna be by themselves. Go
Right?
fuck
Like-
yourself.
like
Like,
I was-
you've got it all figured out. You
I'm sorry,
fucker.
but the pinnacle fucking shooting that everyone uses is Columbine, and that was 2 fucking teenagers.
They were just friends.
They're doing
Literally.
it. They're doing it because of the guy that shot up the Dark Knight movie.
Yeah,
because he was alone.
I know, but it's not like that. Doesn't change anything. Just like, I'm sorry, but if I want to fucking go and see a movie by myself, I should be able to go and
my
see
whole
a
thing
fucking
is
movie
like,
by myself.
why is it that now all of a sudden that they think this movie is going to somehow set off a shooting?
Right?
There have been movies way
So
worse than this fucking movie.
we had another Batman film after the one with that, and that didn't get nearly as much press.
Yeah.
It was still another Batman film. We've had multiple Batman
people are
films. We've had a
making up-
literal Batman versus Superman. No one
Yeah.
was guarding that one.
Yeah.
People are creating hysteria where there is none. And that is another thing that I was talking to Preston earlier, is there's a big old thing going around. I think it's been about the last year or so, but it's a thing called cancel culture.
Yeah.
And it is basically where if there is something that you don't agree with, you basically do everything you can to shut it down.
Yeah,
And
that's
is
been
kind
around
of what's
for
been
a lot longer.
it's kind of
than
what's been
last
going
fucking
on.
year.
Well, it's been making huge moves in this past year with all the actors getting accusations and all that type of shit. So this whole headline here, I think, plays into it a little bit, just because I think the headline in itself really, I mean, when you read this headline, you don't think too much good of it, right? Because
Yeah.
the headline is "Convicted Pedophile Gary Glitter Set to Earn Big Royalties from Joker Movie." And the whole thing with that becomes the problem is that, and not necessarily a problem, but that you can really tell they're trying to do some damage here, is how they started with convicted pedophile. When you read that, the first thing you read, you're not going to think much good after that.
Well,
Because who likes a fucking pedophile? Nobody.
yeah,
So-
but so think about this in terms of like being a person who has to fucking get articles out on the internet. You got to have your attention getter and that's the fucking attention getter right there.
Oh yeah, like
convicted pedophile.
I understand that 100%. Like, I mean, it definitely is an attention getter.
Oh yeah, but
sure.
I think it's the sentiment is wrong, and I think that's what media really needs to fucking start thinking about.
Mm-hmm. The whole thing I was saying earlier was pedophiles. Yeah, is that the movie is getting painted.
Coming back from the piss break.
The movie is being painted in a very bad light, and I feel like the whole thing everybody is saying is that they're glorifying violence and mental illness, and it's like, honestly, that is not what they did with this movie. If anything, like I said earlier, I think what they're doing more so is that they're showing how there are a lot of people in the world, specifically in the U.S., who have a mental issue and they have no help.
Oh, are we hitting this?
Yeah, we're hitting it right now, man.
And that is the huge thing, because I mean, you know, he in the movie he had his problems. He tried going to people to get those fixed, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Well, you know, we're shutting these programs down. There's no more help for you now."
Yeah,
And that only
that's a good fucking.
Here's a big word: exacerbates. That only exacerbates the problem.
It does.
Dude,
The biggest.
it fucking just puts into perspective what's really going on in the United States. Right
That is actually happening.
If you look, at the people that are in the film, it's like the two that sort of go with this plot. I'm gassy. Sorry about that.
All that soda.
All that soda. All the two people that go with like the plot that supports this. Oh, the mental health situation in America may not be so good. Is going to be like his social worker.
Yeah.
Because then, obviously, you've got like, okay, well, the social worker is sort of like playing the part as the government.
Yeah.
Being like,
Sorry,
she
can't
literally
fucking do
slaps
anything
her,
about him.
literally slaps her fucking pen down on the notebook, hand over hand. Funding got cut without any remorse, and then you have.
You have that juxtaposed next to her next fucking sentence, which she says, "They don't care about us."
Right.
She doesn't even go, like, you can tell.
That's how you know the worry. That's how you know the worry isn't with the actual patient.
But that's
it's like, I'm losing my fucking job. Can you please calm down a second?
That puts it in perspective, because now you're putting it where it shows that the people who are even trying to help are also being fucked over.
Exactly. And then that even gets moved more to the Sophia character, because all she was trying, literally, wow. Because, like, if in his head...
That was his physical mental representation of, like, having a therapist.
Having a friend who actually listens and helps.
Exactly.
Yep. And because he touches on, it's like, do you actually even listen? Because he asks her...
tells her. He says, I come in here and you ask me the same questions
How's
every
work
week.
doing, you know?
All I have are bad thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Do you even listen?
One thing that
he doesn't. Yeah.
Wanted to point out that I just thought of was, so obviously earlier in the movie when he's with his therapist, she says the program's being cut and all that. And then later on in the movie when he's at that asylum and asking for those records of his mother, and he's saying the stuff like, "Oh, I did some shit that is bad, but it's not bothering me," and all that. And the guy's like, "Hey, you should get some help." And he was like, "Well, I would, but those programs have been cut," you know. And he kind of brings it up like in a playful way, like.
It's
and I thought that was a big one too.
It's almost like it's literally not his fault.
I mean,
what do you mean?
It's almost like all of this just isn't even his fault. Because like
failed.
He was predetermined by his mother to be someone who brings joy and happiness to the world, and then the same way that construct gets broken does the image of his own mother throughout the film, where it's like everything I've been living with is just sort of like a fucked up.
I just thought about this. Holy fuck. The whole film, it's always saying how the Joker is going to bring so much happiness to the world. And at the end,
his own version.
No, and at the fucking end, it all makes sense. When he's standing on top of the taxi, it's the exact opposite. The only way he'll be happy is if the world makes him happy.
Basically.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it happens. He's happy once the world pays attention to him, and he's that's when he's happy.
Mm-hmm. The director said in the video we were watching, where
what
has
Arthur
slipped my mind. Oh yeah, so in the beginning of the movie, the beginning of the movie when he is playing a clown. You know, he's putting on the mask and the face paint and all that to cover himself.
Yeah.
But at the end, even though he's still putting on his face paint, and somewhat covering his face, he is now himself. He is now Arthur.
Yeah, because when on the taxi scene, I also noticed how the makeup on his face was almost completely gone, but it was just there slightly. Like you could tell, like the line between Arthur and Joker completely
Blurred.
gone. Like he is like Arthur and the Joker are now one and the same.
Well, Joker is Arthur. That's him.
Yeah.
You know? That is who he is.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely.
Arthur was fake. The Joker is him.
Man, just a great fucking movie. Just an absolute complete representation of everything they wanted. And that's
It's fucking everything I wanted. God damn.
And it,
I was
just
so
the
worried that
way
this
they
fucker was
fucking
gonna
handled
flop.
all of it, yeah.
I was so worried.
Like not and I love how they were able to just be like, hey, we don't need to fucking show you everything. Like you just, I can
Such
tell
an
you
incredibly
everything in the
nuanced.
details.
It's a nuanced performance.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody in that film did. Oh my gosh, everyone in that film did absolutely amazing. Also, little side note: did you know that this was the biggest opening box office weekend for Robert De Niro ever?
Whoa.
Yeah, he's never been in a like a box office record breaking movie.
Because you know what? I can't even think of the last movie that he did was big since like the 80s.
But he's still like such a famous actor. Isn't that insane?
This was also the largest opening weekend for a movie in October.
Also the largest opening movie for weekend for a movie in October. Also for a rated R film. Wow.
Nice.
Even more than Deadpool.
That
Damn.
doesn't make sense. Really? It got more than Deadpool in one weekend? Look up Deadpool's. See what it made on its opening weekend.
Well, it'll give me box office. I'll have to search for an opening weekend tally.
Oh, you just got to search up opening weekend.
Can we do that? Is Google that powerful?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Excuse me.
Earnings, opening weekend earnings.
There we go. 132.4 with
that was its debut weekend.
With getting 247 million from the Joker. It
Damn.
creams it by almost
pretty much doubled
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry for that. We had a little bit of an audition crash, but we're going to try to hop right into it. So, Joker was getting the 279 million.
247.
Sorry, well, you know, right around there.
As I was saying,
When
okay,
you need
so
to type in Joker box office, right?
yeah. And then go down some.
Going down.
Go to Box Office Mojo.
Box Office Mojo.
And scroll down. It's going to tell you all of its rankings for opening weekend.
All-time domestic. Oh wait, okay, I see.
So like all these like number one spots.
Okay, so the second highest, widest R-rated opening and widest R-rated.
Oh, the first one's It Chapter 2.
Which literally came out 2 weekends ago.
Did it really? I did not. Fuck that for that movie getting.
Yeah, we've already talked about it though.
Yeah.
Was that only 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that would be that's the upload that we have up right now because we didn't upload last week.
Look at that. Slowest one.
Opening weekend adjusted for October. Number 1. It is the number 1 highest grossing film in October ever.
Venom.
Venom comes up close. A little
Halloween,
60 million short.
Scary Movie 3.
Dude, hell yes. Shark Tale, bro. Fuck yes.
Number 5 coming into
Damn.
top opening weekends by month. Oh my god.
Oh, it was made by DreamWorks?
Yeah.
Pixar made. Oh my goodness, I did not know that.
Very nice.
You
very
like
nice.
that?
Yeah.
That's the DreamWorks, right?
Whoa, I'm surprised. I'm
Yeah, I-
actually like genuinely surprised that The Grudge didn't make that much.
Oh, but Gravity, fuck, man, that was a
That
hoot and a
movie
holler of a
fucking
film.
badass.
Movie didn't
movie.
understand space very well. You ever watch those videos where people talk about all the fuck ups they had?
Neil
in
deGrasse
the
Tyson
interpretation
went
of
on a-
space?
Pretty much everything they do is completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's Hollywood, so they're gonna
It's
do their
science
shit.
fiction,
but
motherfuckers.
Well-
You're watching a goddamn movie.
Well,
not
that
a
was like
documentary.
one of the first fucking like completely, just full CG fest. Like think back to it, it was like a fucking like literally
the
heads,
entire everything.
heads,
everything.
dude. That's it.
in all fairness,
Sandra
though,
Bullock's uniform was CG.
that-
Everything
Oh yeah,
was
her,
CG.
it's just her face was in there. but,
Besides
like,
the points where she's like at home,
yeah,
yeah, I
Just
wouldn't even be surprised if they
just
put
the
some big tits on
idea
it.
of that movie. For one thing, for me, space is fucking awesome. Like it's awesome and scary.
So scary.
To have that,
Oh, it's very scary.
to have that thought in your head where you're just fucking drifting off into space, and you know it's it's inertia. There's no friction. So once you get going, you're fucking going.
Yeah.
You're not stopping for shit unless you get hit by something or whatever. But
Yeah,
just
you
to
could-
They
think,
had the MacGuffin of the jetpack though.
yeah,
Dude,
just
oh,
to
man.
think that like you're done. You're spinning in space. You're going away. You're fucking done.
Yeah, imagine if you were in Clooney's position, at that point, if I was just
He was
floating
dope.
away,
He was dope with it.
oh yeah, but I would have been like, "Fuck this! I'm taking my helmet off. I'm just gonna fucking let's
End
just
it.
decompress and
That is a nice
disappear."
thing. That
Well-
if you're in space, you do have that option to end it. Just take your fucking helmet off,
You
and
could
you're
decompress. Whoa.
Yeah.
You almost went on it for a second there.
Almost.
You could decompress, or you could just let the carbon monoxide sleep come over you, which is what I would probably
Nah,
do.
I would probably just have a heart attack from the anxiety of that.
Can you imagine just
Oh, no,
looking out and just seeing that just complete black of space, and you're going towards, it and you're just like, oh my god,
He's not having a good time thinking about it right
The
now.
Earth-
Look
the
at
Earth
I've
is-
thought about it. I've thought
the
about
Earth
it
is
a
getting
lot, man.
further away.
Fuck
I'm
that.
going. Oh my
Dude,
god.
I've thought about that, and I've thought about like
drowning.
no,
Drowning's
not
terrible.
drowning, but
Oh, I
the
wouldn't
fucking
wanna drown.
opposite. The
I've almost
opposite.
drowned before.
Fuck that.
Fuck,
horrible.
Fuck
I've
that.
almost drowned before too, but the opposite of instead of just floating away into space, what if you fucking float into orbit and burn?
Oh, even better.
Nah,
Even better.
that's not quick.
What's the
It's a
what's-
lot quicker than you think it
what's
fucking
the
is.
sure
what's the
I'm sure
temperature
it's-
gauge when you enter the atmosphere? How hot are you getting?
It does.
Do you have any idea?
It's all based on how big you are.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it basically hot enough to turn you into ash instantly.
Well, here, let's put
Well,
it this
then
way.
no pain.
But dude, well, if you're you're entering out of orbit, coming into orbit, you will 100% burn up because
yeah.
we got I almost just said atmosphere, asteroids. Yeah, we have asteroids that fucking are like sizes of this fucking house that just go whoop, boom, and burn up. So
Mm-hmm.
Did you see? I think it is today's 8th. I think it is on the 10th. There's supposed to be a pretty. I think it was like 16 asteroids are going to be passing Earth.
Nice.
One of them, I think, one of them is like.
are we gonna make it through?
Oh yeah,
They
we're
say
good. We're good. But there's
Like,
like one that is like
First time hearing of this.
350,000 miles away or something, and it is like. I believe what they said was it is larger than all of the pyramids of Giza combined.
Oh, nice. Here's how well they're thinking. They're like, we're gonna be getting right by them. They're gonna become right by us. But their brains are thinking so massive. I'm like, okay, so how far is this asteroid? 350,000 miles. That's right by us.
I mean, it is.
That's right by us. That's
mean,
a big bitch. I mean, imagine like two buses. I hear two buses farther away that look closer together than two like very small objects the same distance away. They look farther.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the astronomy brains out there doing the
Dude.
science on this.
Relative to space, 300,000 miles away. It's kind of close.
Where? What's the closest? How close is Mars?
Well,
I
let's
don't know,
just look
but
up how
one,
close
one
the
of them
moon
is passing essentially in the distance in between the Earth and the Moon.
Oh, Ethan,
Yo, that's fucking dope.
you were just thinking like, man, Mars, fucking the moon, in between the moon and
Wait,
Earth.
they're all, or
Well,
that's the shortest distance one,
That will be the shortest one. That will be the closest one to us. Will pass in between us and the Moon.
and that's 300,000.
well, not
miles?
that one necessarily. I don't remember, but one of them will be
What?
238,000 miles from here to the Moon. One of them will be in between us.
So
and the
you
moon,
could see it.
distance-wise.
Oh my god.
So
we could
will
probably
see it.
spot it.
Oh my god.
Isn't that crazy to think
Oh
though?
my God.
That, like we have this idea of some sort of
We're out of fucking
Some-
Joker. Let's.
yeah, we have this idea of something happening to us to be like the demise of Earth, like human made. But like one day there's gonna be like a fucking asteroid coming towards us, and we can't do shit to stop that. It's just well, okay. I guess we're done now.
Some people think
we
the
all get our
thermonuclear
guns-
detonation. Some people think that thermonuclear detonation is the thing to do, but
It creates
then,
a bigger problem.
Oh yeah, because hey, guess what? You might have just blown up a 2-mile wide asteroid that's coming straight for the Earth. That's
Well-
like I don't know, probably 100,000 pounds, and then you blew it up, and now it's in 4 pieces, and they're all half a mile long, and they're all
Technically,
250. Like oh my god.
They've said. I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who said it's like you could shoot it with a really small object as long as it's going fast enough and it's far enough away. It
You
will.
move it.
You can move it because it's in fucking
that
space.
trajectory,
You
yeah.
could move an asteroid if
That's-
it was
see,
you and an
that's what I
asteroid
think-
and
that's
you're belted
where-
into something. And you've got a 1,000,000-pound fucking asteroid floating above your head. All you got to do is dink, and the whole fucking thing. All that little bit of energy you just put in
I mean,
matters.
yeah.
They think they can shine light at it.
I'm drawing a blank right now, but what is it? What is the weapon called where it launches metal rods using electromagnetic fields?
A
A
railgun.
Railgun. That's
They
what
do that with
that's
tungsten
what-
bullets now.
tungsten rods, long, like
Dude.
3 or 4 foot long rods.
The
That
fucking-
is something different. Noah told me.
the
They're
rods
shooting massive shit.
Yeah, they're called
Um,
the rods from God, man. They drop them from space.
yeah, so I was thinking, what if we do?
No,
What if,
I'm not even fucking with you.
I
yeah.
know. I
They're
know.
they are just tungsten rods they drop from a satellite, and it is like fucking a
you
massive.
could level
no
a whole.
no
like the
explosives
m-
either.
it's
It's
like the
just a
most-
metal object.
It's all that fucking inertia that
It's
you're-
the densest
But
element
what
in the
if we-
periodic table.
What if we used those in space to shoot fucking asteroids away from us? That would be a good idea, right?
Problem is shooting shit in space. I don't think we've even shot anything like while we're in space.
We have guns that shoot in space now.
Don't tell me.
We have actual.
I was gonna say, Hunter's like,
So
do we?
if you go on the moon, you can shoot certain there's actual weapons that will fire on the moon. Like they've tested this and everything.
There's
you
no
can still.
oxygen though.
Yeah, you don't need oxygen. They'll
Oh,
they'll
well.
build special rounds that that have an
I bet they-
ignition.
I bet they
that has
inject
a different type
oxygen.
of ignition.
What
and
the-
it
that could
fires.
work.
What if they inject oxygen into an airtight
I don't know.
into an
The-
airtight
the-
round?
Could that work?
The
in
case.
theory?
I don't know if the casing could handle the pressure,
But
because
ul-
you've got to have the bullet seated correctly to where it has. If it gets enough pressure, it's gonna launch. So who
Well,
knows?
they make the bullet around or
Would-
the gun around that.
I don't know if this is like a big dumbo question, but would electromagnetic shit work in space?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It does. Okay, so I
Mhm.
guess that's a way to get around it.
Yeah.
We just haven't built a railgun that's powerful enough for
So you could
handheld
probably
operation.
you
Yeah.
could probably launch bullets if you used an electric weapon that sent a electric charge into like a little amount of C4 to propel a bullet. I bet you could probably do something like that.
Possibly.
I just saw a fucking cool article earlier about space. I want to see if I can fucking find it. You boys keep talking.
But yeah, so we have weapons that we can use in space. It's not really a thing that we do though. I think it's just something that we researched back, like when we were doing shit on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would really fucking love.
I was
would
gonna
really
rail it back to
fucking
Joker
love-
for a second.
Oh, okay. We can go back.
I wanted to read some of these because we're closing the end of the podcast here. I wanted to read some of these very negative reviews left by top critics
Yes, please.
of The Guardian and Time and all that. Would you be down to hear some headliners here?
Please. I would love to hear that.
And you just tell me what you think of this, if it's right or wrong.
Okay.
Joker is a movie that you ignore at your own peril. Go ahead and ignore that movie. It's a bad movie, this guy says. Top critic, by the way, of Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, by the way, yeah,
That's all he has to say. He didn't explain why.
there's a full review, but I don't want to give the fucker a click. Tomato meter, this is how you know people are getting paid.
Is it tomato meter or tomatometer? Thermometer.
It's a tomato meter.
Tomato meter.
It's a
yeah, it is.
tomato meter.
Tomato meter. Okay.
But regardless, critic score is at a 69%, while audience score is at a 90%. So someone's getting paid to say something bad here.
There's a bit of a disconnect there. What the fuck's going on?
Yep,
a
and
bit.
these people are just supposed to be people representing us, which is, anyways. But yeah, we've got Joker is a movie that you ignore at your own peril.
Bleak and juvenile.
Juvenile.
How
Bleak
the
and
fuck?
juvenile. I tried.
that
I
guy.
actually think I tried going to this guy's review and it did something weird to my.
What the fuck is juvenile about this movie? There's nothing juvenile about this movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't even take a fucking juvenile to see the movie.
Let's take a.
No.
Okay, here we go. This article contains nothing but spoilers about Joker. Few histories of movie have such an extreme pre-release experience. It's almost unheard of. Hold on. Todd Phillips, who is as crafty with the press as Mr. Terrific is with T-Spheres, has said that he convinced Phoenix to appear in the supervillain origin story by suggesting they would sneak a real movie into the studio system under the guise of a comic book film. This does not sound like
This whole
someone.
thing, like this, he's going through and explaining why it's so bad because it has nothing to do with the comics. But hey, guess what? They fucking said that this wasn't going to be based on the comics.
Here we go. He's comparing him to Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger won an Oscar
posthumously.
posthumously for playing Joker. Jack Nicholson was nominated for a BAFTA and a Golden Globe. BAFTA's not a good thing to get, but anyways, does Joaquin Phoenix have a shot at the statuette? Anything's possible, I suppose, but if it were up to me, I would say heck no. I like when awards go to the best acting, not most acting.
Oh my god, he literally. Okay, let me read this for a fucking second.
Go ahead.
Phoenix's mimicry of the pseudo-bulbar effect is accurate, at least based on one YouTube video I found. but this is a surface thing. There's little depth to the character other than he's nuts. What the fuck? Did you even watch that fucking movie, dude?
Clearly not, because they go into so much deep shit about his childhood and his affection with like people and how he thinks about them and unnecessary glitter. Once Joker has more than a few kills under his belt, he heads into Robert De Niro's TV studio for his big catharsis. There's a psych-up scene as he dances outside his apartment, so there's a pop song needle drop. Phillips chooses Gary Glitter's Rock and Roll Part 2. It's a song you absolutely know, even if the title doesn't ring a bell. More to the point, especially from a guy recently quoted as saying that woke culture has torn him away from comedy. It's a song recorded by a convicted child. Oh, we're getting back into this thing. Todd Phillips really is a troll. Oh, it's so exhausting. I know this Metacritic Time had a good one. Phoenix is acting so hard you can feel the desperation throbbing in his veins. He leaves you wanting to start him a GoFundMe so that he won't have to pour so much sweat into his acting job again. Are you fucking kidding me?
Like,
but the aggressive terribleness of his performance isn't completely his fault.
Like, what the fuck have you done, Stephanie Zacharek?
You know what?
Do you know what?
If you know a Stephanie Zacharek, you tell her she doesn't have a good opinion on anything.
I don't. Okay.
No one enjoys Stephanie. Stephanie gets fucking chastised at office work parties for taking too much icing off the birthday cake. Hold on, I'm not done talking about fucking Stephanie. You know what Stephanie does? You know what fucking Stephanie does on her free time?
What?
She watches The Cat Whisperer. You know, the dude with the goatee and the weird eyeglasses?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to try to train your cat for you.
Uh-huh.
She watches The Dog Whisperer. You know?
Caesar Milan.
Caesar Milan. She watches TLC's The Greatest Bake Off. She watches shit like that. Stephanie, you're uncultured swine. Also, you wrote this on August 31st. When the fuck did this movie come out? October. How did
last
she
weekend.
got an early film and she wasn't even grateful enough to be graced by Joaquin's fucking acting that she had to write a shit review for Time?
How are you going off on a guy who is putting his heart and soul into a role?
Oh, we don't care about that.
And you're going off on him saying he's fucking.
One of the articles I was reading was just.
I can't believe it just stood up and did all that. But anyway,
can you go back real quick?
I will go back. Do you want this? Right?
Joker is a bad movie. It's predictable, cliched, deeply derivative of other better movies, and overwritten to the point of self-parody. It's a feature-length send-up of Joker. It's hard. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, explain. What do you mean? How is this movie predictable and cliche? Like,
there's nothing about it that's cliche. First of all, if you're talking about the character Joker. Being cliche within its own self, then really maybe, but at the best, kind of.
Yeah, but you also have to think this is
predictable.
This is a first of its kind. Like, we've never seen something like this.
If you saw the fucking girl not being real coming, I don't even know how you did that.
Nobody
And
did.
if you saw his mother being crazy coming,
nobody did.
Then
there's no
then
way
you're
to
fucking
tell.
lying.
There's no way
you
to
think
tell.
Dana Stevens, you think you're fucking smart. You're not, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bitch,
like,
I hope this gets back
fucking,
somehow.
It's just the excuses that they have.
You're not smart.
No, like, I'm sorry, but you don't, like, it's there. Like, whatever you're searching for that you seem to can't find, like, you must not be fucking paying close enough attention because it's there. Like, those fucking details are there, man. This movie is really good. You just gotta fucking pay attention.
Let's read a quick little couple good reviews. Joker has what may be the best lead performance of the year, but it is not for the faint of heart. Director Todd Phillips digs deep into the shadow side of society for one of the darkest movies in recent memory. Very good review. Gives it 100 on Metacritic. Metacritic. Thank you, Karen. No one's ever said that. Thank you, Karen. No one's ever fucking said that. No one's responding to me. Okay. I'm trying to do
we had a little mental.
I said, thank you, Karen. No one's ever said that before. Thanks, Karen.
Gosh, yeah.
Thank you, Karen.
Here we go. We got
For once, she's not complaining to the manager.
Oh, wait. We got a Guardian. We got. Whoa. Okay. We got Zan Books from the Guardian, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Look at this guy.
He's also. Wait, there was another guy from the
Right
Guardian.
here.
Jordan Hoffman is from the Guardian.
Oh, shit.
There was
Zan,
an
you might
office
want to
fight.
talk to Jordan.
There was an office fight, dude. They boxed it out.
Damn. Anyway, Zan says, what a gloriously daring and explosive film Joker is. It's a tale that is almost as twisted as the man at its center, bulging with ideas and pitching towards anarchy. I mean, it is just a beautiful film. We're fitting to do the big send.
Close out some of those tabs, George.
Fitting to do the big send on this episode, guys.
We done?
Damn near. I think we've gone over an hour.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about shit all day, so.
True same.
Shames.
Well, go give this fucking movie a watch and then give it a rewatch, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, even if you have not watched the movie and this whole thing was a spoiler, still fucking go watch that.
Yeah, we didn't let you in on.
We didn't even scratch the surface on this bitch. So yeah.
We did a 3.5 hour podcast for Endgame.
Yeah, but that was
We
different.
did, yeah.
That was different. That's on a whole other level.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it really is though.
As far as the acting is nowhere near as good. Sorry.
Oh no. No. That's what I
It's
mean
not
by on
it's-
a different
Yeah,
level.
it's not as quality. The story's got it backed up. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
This has been Present.
this has been Hunter,
It's been Ethan.
And this has been Up in the Air.
an American podcast.
Goodbye.